we're talking about what's eating you. Talking about what's eating you.
Proudly brought to you by RogersHood Apothecary.
Hello, beautiful people. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
For anyone just now joining, I just want to say what we're talking about. We're on here talking about our podcast called What's Eating You. Every single Tuesday, we have new episodes dropping. And this month, we are focused on modalities, healing modalities, teaching you guys about them, how to use them, what we use in our daily lives, everything from the ones that you go to a clinic or a facility to use to free ones or cheap ones you can use at home. We really want to help you guys be able to maximize tools that are available today that will help you to really feel your best and optimize your health and well-being.
Just answering some questions. Any help for having regular BMs? Absolutely, for sure. It will start to work itself out. Everybody that's done the kit has talked about how they become more regular and then they feel better. And, if you're not regular, you just want to be conscientious of the binder because that's what it is it's binding you up. But sometimes when you have die-offs, that's a constipation is part of a die-off. So just keep going, keep using coffee enemas if you can do colonics.
Water enemas.
Yeah. And then I had a question here that said Lyme mold and parasites. I mean, I have Lyme mold and parasites, and this is what I do. We're literally showcasing everything that I've done to get myself healthier. So parasites was my first tackle, mold was my second, and I have chronic Lyme. And you're gonna have flares. I'm in a flare right now. You just have to kind of know what your modalities are and you rely on those. You rely on the cleanses, you rely on red light, you rely on enemas. You really use what you're doing to make sure that you continue to stay on a good pace.
I just
So,
want to say you look
yeah.
really good for being in a
Oh,
flare.
thanks.
You
Thanks.
look
It's been,
healthy, you look
thanks.
grounded, you look balanced, you still got that beautiful
Yeah.
skin as
Oh,
always.
thanks.
Yeah, you look good. You look like you are feeling better.
Yeah. I feel like people that are chronically ill and, I'm going to use this word, even though it's like a frequency, because I am chronically ill. I have really good months and then I have times. And that's why you build your arsenal of tools.
That's
That's
right.
why I have all the things I have so that right now I can't get into my HBOT because I have something going on in my ear. And
Mhm.
so I have to then pivot and use another modality because you can't use that one. And so you really look at it in a holistic point of view of I'm doing these to keep me well, but if there's a step back and people that are chronically ill get nervous and they start to go into a spiral of trauma because we have some
For
medical
sure.
trauma, right?
PTSD. It's
Oh,
like
for sure.
it's triggers. Anytime a new flare
Mhm.
comes up, it brings you back to all of the things prior. But I want to add this to what you said, Kim, because I agree that it's good to be honest and
Mhm.
acknowledge where you are because that's the only way you can move forward. You have to be
Yeah.
honest about where you are. But I think you can be chronically ill and chronically healing
Oh, at the same
simultaneously
time.
at the
Oh, for
same
sure.
time. Yeah.
Because I know what just happened with a flare is just strengthening my body. And when I look back at what my flare's been like for a couple of weeks now and what it was like before, I have completely different flares now. It's
Good.
handled in such a different way. And so looking at that in such a big picture of things,
Mhm.
all of the things that we talk about and all of the things that we're doing
Yeah.
allowed me to not have such a deep flare, if that makes
Yeah.
sense to people. So you just really need to know that everything you do, even though it feels exhausting and that it's tiring when you're doing the cleanse or you're doing different modalities, it's going to keep you to have instead of a 90% bad flare, I'm now only at a 50%.
Yay, that's
So
huge
that's kind of how,
progress.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. It's a big deal when you're able to take a little bit of a step
Yeah.
back from
You
chronic
should be
illness.
proud of yourself,
Yeah.
Kim. I know I'm not chronically ill, and I know that when you go through these spouts, I mean, I'm your best friend. I'm close enough
Mhm.
to you. I've seen it up close and personal. I've seen you when you're thriving, no flare, everything's great and balanced, and I've I've seen you when you're going through one. And I just have to say, like, I really, really hope that even when they pop up, and even if it triggers your brain and
Hmm.
PTSD, I hope that you're really able to see how far you really have come.
Oh,
I
for
mean,
sure.
wow, you are paradigms and light years from the log home days, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I'm proud of you. And I think that life is so beautiful that right now you're just organically talking about modalities,
Yeah.
because that's what we're talking about today. We
Yeah.
really are hopping on here to talk about modalities. This month on What's Eating You, all of our episodes are modality focused. So we're really showing you guys, we're diving in and talking to you about everything from all of the ones that we do in our daily lives, our favorite ones, what were our first ones, how to use them, the really pricey ones to the cheap free ones at
Hmm.
home. We're really covering it all. So we are talking all things healing modalities. In editing the episode where we're sitting down in Miami in a beautiful high rise with a
It was
beautiful view
nice.
behind us, it's a really nice episode. We start out the episode talking about the origin of healing modalities. And I thought it was a really beautiful thing I wanted to repeat here, because when we talk about it or say the word, we're living in modern day times where social
Hmm.
media is like at the forefront, technology, and we all say healing modalities. And my mind used to just go to like technology driven, these new advancements that we can use in science and technology to like biohack and biostack. But the origin of healing modalities is actually ancient, and they've been around since the beginning of time, and humans have always been using them. It's very traditional, and I also love that you use the word traditional
Hmm.
medicine for holistic, natural approach to medicine, because the word alternative medicine has always rubbed me wrong. For over a
Hmm.
decade now, I've been like, how is it the alternative if it's the original? So I love that you specifically can word it as traditional medicine. And that's really what healing modalities come from. Humans have been using nature and the elements for healing. And I
Yeah.
mean, even down to coffee enemas in ancient Egypt, to Ayurvedic medicine, India, Chinese medicine, African medicine. Like, there's so much history behind really the word healing modalities. And us modern day humans have just brought it into this technological age that we live in and use these advancements.
The modern age we're in now, we call it biohack, right? We're biohacking, we're hacking into our biology to kind of make changes in order for us to get healthier and challenge the times that we're in, where we're being bombarded with heavy metals and environmental toxins, allowing us to kind of go back to the homeostasis level. And that's all that modalities are. That's all that we're doing, is that red light is replicating what the sun is. So it's really a replication of what we're all supposed to be doing. We're not really supposed to be living in moldy homes. And I did a podcast yesterday talking about that with a mold specialist, that we're living in, I think it was like 60% of our environment and our homes is moldy. So it's
Wow.
like, okay, well, you're in the house, you're not getting the sunlight to help push the spores out of your cells, boosting your mitochondria. So, like, we have to find ways to supplement that. And I think that we just have found those hacks, right? And
Yeah.
that's why it's the biohack.
Our ancestors used nature and the
Yeah.
elements to heal. Like, it just is what it is. They used the plants, they used the sun, they used the cold, they used the fire, they used all of these
Hmm.
things and the herbs to heal, and water therapy and all of this.
It's like the whole process of how the Scandinavians, which I'm Scandinavian, like I have that cold. I think that's why I like the hot and the cold so
That
much,
is
rotating
why
it.
you like it. It's your
Mhm.
Scandinavian blood.
Yeah.
By the way, Kim, look at what I'm sipping my
Oh,
dirty matcha out of. You guys, Kim
that's so cute.
got me this cute mushroom cup for my birthday.
It's so cute. I love
We're
the
mushroom
mushrooms.
people. We're the mushroom gang, and so I get to sip my dirty matcha out of this today. Another point about cold for females that do have cycles is it's really important to not use cold right before you start your period and for the
Mhm.
first few days that you're on your period. For that part of the month, it's actually will do the opposite effect, because it will send your nervous system into fight or flight when it needs to be in rest and digest to keep you balanced during that time with your hormones and everything. So there's like about I would say like probably a 6 day window to be safe, a few days before you start and a few days during, that you shouldn't use cold therapy. But every other day of the month, I think that it's completely healthy. It does something for you mentally too. And we
Mhm.
talked about that in our modality episode about certain things like cryotherapy and cold plunge. Like any of these cold therapies, they also release all of the feel good chemicals, dopamine, endorphins. They also build new
Yeah.
neural pathways in your brain.
Anything that helps stimulate it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it's doing. It's like assisting with stimulation. That's
exactly.
that's cool. I didn't know that because I don't really study a lot of specifics for younger females because I've had a hysterectomy since I was 29. So
Yep.
I was in chemical menopause and now I'm in surgical menopause. And so I just never really correlated how much that can affect you even after you have a hysterectomy. So
Wow.
I really, yeah,
Interesting.
it's just not studied. Like it's just
There's
women's
not
health
enough
is
data
so
on it.
understudied.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool to see some of these females stepping into the limelight
Yeah.
because there just isn't a lot of it.
Let's go back to the cold for a second because I
Yeah.
want to ask you, what is your favorite cold modality?
I mean, cold plunge and probably ozone cold plunge because it's stacking multiple things onto one. But I definitely like cold plunge enough that, like, if we ever moved, I would make sure we had a cold plunge in our new location because I do so much better if I'm able to. I'll do a cold shower in the mornings at the end.
Do
How
you do
much?
that every time
Yeah.
you shower?
Oh, every time.
How long have you been doing that?
For about 6 years.
Every time you get in the shower, no matter if it's dead winter or
Yeah.
not, at
Yeah.
the end of your shower, you turn it to cold.
Uh-huh. Every time. So that's how my skin is so good.
Wow, between
I
two to
don't
three?
2 to 3 minutes. It's like I'll wash my hair, I'll rinse my body off, and then I stand in the cold because it helps rebalance you. And if
Okay,
you're having anxiety, if you can't get out of your head, it's the best thing. Hop in a cold shower for 2 to 3 minutes, and it will completely shift your mindset
which is
when you do it.
actually wild because you would think cold would have the opposite. You know, when you get anxiety, you feel
Hmm.
shivery and cold. You would think that it would do the opposite, but you're saying it actually will, like, does it like shock your system
Yeah.
into
Yeah, it
really?
starts to move your lymphatic system because it's going into a different temperature. And so that's
Gotcha.
probably why they think 55 is the best because that's pretty much what you're at when you're doing like the last end of that shower where you're just standing there for a few minutes. Even if it's a
Yeah.
minute, just to get you in a different mindset and just
Mm.
to have a modality that is at your house already that you don't really have to think about it. Yeah, it focuses on your vagus nerve. It helps reset it because you're changing. I use cold water when I wash my face. I use because it keeps your body strengthened. It allows you to change that core
Yeah.
temperature and
Right.
your body refocuses. You will actually stop your anxiety attack if you went and got yourself in a cold shower.
Wow, that's really good to know. That's everybody, that's like a really good note to take, like panic attack interruption,
Yeah.
cold shower. So I use cold therapy for anti-inflammatory and
What's your
cryo.
faves?
Cryo. You know what? I think it's because I don't love to be soaking wet in the water in the cold. I'd rather be dry in the cold. I really think
Yeah.
that's why. And to be honest, I'm not gonna even front or lie to you guys. Cold plunge is hard as fuck. It's like every time I get in, my feet feel like they're gonna fall off. They like hurt, but I still do it. I still get in. I still breathe through it. Even if the inside of myself is freaking out, every part of me is telling me to get out. I still stick with it for as long as I can. But funny you brought up the shiver because when I got out, I wasn't shivering, and Dave was like, "Oh, Sam," because he knows me well. Shout
Mhm.
out to David, Mother Nature's Remedy. We love him.
Mhm. He's great.
He was like, "You could have done 5," and I was like, "Okay, but that was enough for me. I'm proud of myself. That was good enough for now." He's like, "But next time I want you to do it until you shiver." So
Yeah.
he is aware of that too. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, and that's why that specific, I think it's called Renew, that specific cold plunge is such a great thing because not all cold plunges are like that. You have to force yourself to move the water. And so I think people don't realize that when you get in the cold, immediately your body's defense mechanism is to put a thermal barrier up. Because the
Oh,
reason why cold does what it does is your body thinks it's dying And so it automatically kicks you out of sympathetic and puts you into parasympathetic so that you can be in rest and digest to allow your body to completely reset. And so it's a whole thing. And so when you're able to move the water, which your body will not do, like consciously, your body will not move that water.
Actually, you're right,
Mhm.
because I've done an ice bath before. So there's no like jets moving the water.
Mhm.
Like you stay still. So
Yep.
that makes sense. So I didn't realize that that's why having the jets moving the water actually amplifies it. It makes it more effective, essentially.
And it'll make you shiver. So that's why I'm like, okay, I heard that this is a thing where you have to have it at 55 to make yourself shiver. However, if you have a cold plunge like Dave's, where it has ozone and it's moving for you at a high speed, do you still need to have it at 55 degrees? No, I don't think you do. Like, I think that that is something that not a lot of people have actually been around as far as a cold plunge goes, and most people just get in and sit. So that's why I'm like, okay, like I totally think that at 55 that makes complete sense. However, there's also this extra modality that can be added to the cold plunge.
Right.
And so if you're in a cold plunge or you're even in the shower and you keep yourself moving while doing it, I mean, like being silly and just,
Okay. It's why when we get in cryotherapy, you dance in place, you run
yes.
in place.
Because I want to break the thorough barrier. The thermal
Okay.
barrier is, it's just your body. It's automatic. It's instant. The moment you start to feel cold, it puts like this energetic layer on your body. And so it's protecting its most valuable asset, right? Your skin, because that's the first place when you get frostbite that it eats at it. So it's really like doing its job by putting that defense mechanism up. But you're trying to break that defense mechanism so you can go to the next layer of things, which is your lymphatic system and your nervous system, and really
Smart.
resetting that.
This is all really great information, Kim, and this is all new to me. So I'm so glad you're adding all of this on, because it's going to just take people's knowledge like further when they know why they're doing the cold therapy
Totally.
and how to actually like do it the most effective, you know? I
Yeah.
love that we're talking about water though. So let's segue a little bit into more water modalities.
Well, every 15 minutes, you absorb 2 cups of water, if not a little bit more, every 15 minutes. So if you're in the shower, you're absorbing everything in that water. So you can use water as a tool, because you can go and you can do things like fulvic soak. You're absorbing all of that immediately into your body. It is 2 cups every 15 minutes, and everything in that water is being absorbed into your body. So if you're soaking in our tap water, which is heavy metals, pharmaceuticals, parasites, spores, bacteria, and viruses, you're absorbing all of that. Literally, you are a washcloth, and then you get out and you don't get to wring all of that out. You don't get to have the opportunity to
It's
remove
already
that
in
from
there,
your body.
right?
It's already been absorbed,
Going through
and your
your
body.
blood,
Yes.
organs.
So it's just
Totally.
kind of a different thought process for people, because I don't think they realize that water is really of importance. So when you're in something like an ozone cold plunge, you're not just getting your lymphatic system moving, but you're also absorbing the ozone that goes into your blood and allows you to break down bacteria. And if you have pesticides, heavy metals, ozone's pretty powerful. We talk about it all the time with using Therasage's ozone bubbler to clean our produce. I have a Therasage ozone bubbler machine that I make water with, and the machine's $100, and you can use it for your produce as well as making oils and making
Yeah.
water.
I use it for water enemas. And
Yeah.
also, I also put it in my Navage neti pot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I put the ozone water in the Navage with the saline pack, and of course a few drops of ParaFy. Sometimes that adds the same to there. Honestly, I feel into it intuitively, and I'll use any of RogersHood tincture drops in there. I'm like, get up in there, please.
It's the
And then
herbs.
I'll flush my nasal pathways with ozone water. So it's like we really are talking about biohacking stacking, because
Yeah.
we're talking about, it's like, okay, how can we take a modality but actually like supercharge it and take it a step further by adding in another one or adding something to it that makes it even more effective or even more efficient, or you're getting way more out of it in less amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, for example, red light therapy, right? So you are a huge fan of, we both are because you taught me how to use the red light with castor oil. And
Mm-hmm.
prior to you teaching me that, I would use the red light on its own. I would do castor oil packs on their own. But when you combine the two together, it's penetrating the castor oil how much deeper? Like
It's
how
like
many layers?
7 to 8 times deeper into your body.
Deeper. That's a no-brainer. Like we are busy humans. Like you and I
Yeah,
are busy, 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 but
so
everybody's
busy.
busy. Life is
Yeah.
busy. Modern day life is busy, and people, their energy is in high demand. Like everyone has so much happening at once. It's like, how do
Mm-hmm.
we remember how to drink this much water every day and take these supplements and do these modalities and do this? Well, when we find these hacks that we can stack and do multiple things at once, then you're really getting the most out of it. And it's like in 15 minutes, you can do 3 things at one time instead of one. First of all, it's 111. Second of all, I have to just take a moment and acknowledge you, Kim. When I tell you I am impressed by you and you are so inspiring, those words don't even encompass really, because for you to have the chronic illnesses, multiple people, she doesn't just have one thing. This woman has so many different things. She has a plethora, okay? For you to have all of these things simultaneously, building a company that the foundation of it is to help people feel better and heal through cleansing and using natural herbs to better their health. This is your whole mission in life, is to get all this out here. Not only have you done that simultaneously, which is more than a full-time job, Kim literally never sleeps. She probably literally works 23 hours a day, okay? On top of being chronically ill and committed to chronically healing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thanks. Yeah.
it's beyond respectable. I'm just like, have to salute, like, much respect,
Thanks.
Kim Rogers, because you are one of one. Yes, she's saving lives. Yes. And I'm honored to be right here with her. We are deep in the trenches. We're at the forefront of this medical awakening
Yeah.
happening right now in real time. And we're part of the solution. Everyone is so focused on the problems and so focused on the issues and so focused on only being chronically ill that
Yeah.
we're here making just as much noise, being like, you can also chronically heal. There are solutions, there are remedies.
Yeah.
Nature provides them, modern technology provides them. So we're just here making noise, and we're using our platform, What's Eating You, our podcast, to help get the word out to you guys and let you know what you can do to feel better, because that's the whole point. Each one teach one, and we're here to do that. But if it wasn't for Kim Rogers choosing to live and choosing to dedicate her life to helping other people heal and live, we wouldn't be here having this conversation right now. So much respect to you,
Oh,
Kim.
thanks. I appreciate those words. That's so nice. Like, what
Yeah.
else could I do? You know, like I have this knowledge. I do a lot of research, and I know that I personally want some medical reform. And so I know at the end of the day, that is really what my goal is. And I'm going to start talking more about it because it really is concerning to me as one, an American, two, human, and three, someone who got classically trained in medicine, that I can't go to every doctor or any doctor and not get tested correctly. And I think this last trip that I had to have them look in my ear because I've got something going on in one of my ears. And the urgent care doctor looked at it and had no idea what he was looking at. And to me, it was shocking because as soon as he started describing it, I was like, oh, that's yeast and mold. And that's easily fixable. And I looked at him and I said, well, I have mold poisoning and I have systematic candida. And he looked at me and he goes, well, what does that have anything to do with it? And I go, because yeast and mold can grow on your eardrum, and this is a crevice that it can come out of. And I looked at him and I'm like, I just need antifungal eardrops with some antibiotics. I'm like, who's the doctor here? You know, and it's
Wow.
just shocking to me. So I came home and I sat down and I looked at Jeremy and I go, why can't I be tested with a legitimate? Not that the people out there aren't legitimate, but I would like to be able to go to a Western medicine doctor and I would like to be tested for mold, Lyme, and parasites, and I'd like it on the books. And it's not that difficult. And so, of course, being who I am, I sat down and I wrote the entire curriculum of how we can get this into our Western Medicine Society curriculum, how we can actually implement this in the requirements, because that's what I used to do for a living. I used to implement different CEUs into Western medicine. And so a lot of things you're doing, like electronic medical records, I helped implement that into medicine. And so I'm like, okay, so am I going to go and do this reform? Like, is this what the ultimate goal is at the end of the day, is to be able to use this platform and allow my voice, that because I personally and professionally am in this situation, it's so stressful to go to doctors. I totally get it.
It's like they're so disconnected, man.
So disconnected.
You are bridging the gap, Kim,
Yeah.
between traditional medicine and Western medicine. You're bridging the gap. You are, that's
Yeah.
definitely a huge part of your purpose. It's very obvious. So happy to be getting it out there, because it should be
It
mandatory,
should
like you
be. It
said.
should.
Yeah.
It's not even that difficult, to be honest with you, for everyone to do a mandatory continuing education unit that you have to do every year anyway for your license. I
Man,
know that the next 3 to 4 podcasts that I'm going on, I purposefully picked them and I'm flying to see them and do it in person with an agenda in the back of my head, in my mind.
to
And
get this
so,
out there. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I can talk about parasites and worms and mold and Lyme, and a lot of people in making laws and changing the way we do things, it has to have a solution at the end. And so, in order for you to go to Congress or go to a lawmaker or make any of these changes, you have to give them the steps. So, you have to tell them the problem, you have to tell them a solution, and you have to tell them how they can implement
How
that
to do it.
solution.
Basically, you have to take all thinking out of the equation for
Yeah,
them and give them an
you're just
entire plan. Yep.
totally, you're just going in to network.
If
That's
there's
really,
anyone who can do this, it's the Worm Queen, y'all.
I know
Listen,
this.
multiple people in these comments have said Western medicine doctors are drug dealers.
I mean, it's the mafia, it's a cartel. So it really is, because they own everything. And yeah, I mean, I have not met RFK yet, but I mean, we are in the same circles. And his team a few years ago reached out to me, but I just wasn't in a space in my life that I could reach back out to him. So I mean, there has been some contact made, but like at the same time, when you meet them, and a lot of people don't know my past and they don't know where I come from when it comes to like different levels of politics and like those type of things, because I've always just done all of the medicine type of talk on my own. But I'm at the point where I personally would love to go get an accurate mold test. I personally would love to go get an accurate parasite test. And I would like to have my number on the books. And let me explain that real quick. My number on the books means there's 60 million Americans that tested positive through the CDC for parasites, and I'm not one of them. And it's because my test had to go to Mexico and it doesn't count because it's an independent lab.
Oh, so they only count
Yes,
Western medicine in America's parasite test, which,
yes.
by the way, so many people that actually do have parasites and worms get their stool tested through Western medicine labs and it comes back negative.
Mine did.
Also,
That's why I'm not on that number.
that number isn't correct. It's not
Right,
accurate. It's way
right.
more. It's way, way,
Way
way
more.
more.
But it really is important to know that when you walk into a doctor and they look at you like, all my tests came back negative, everything came back negative, but I'm in pain and I'm like, something is going on here.
So
Okay,
dismissive, right?
so
They always
dismissive.
do that. They gaslight, they
Mhm.
dismiss. Like, just because you aren't educated about it does not make it not real. You just
Yeah,
don't know. You
yeah.
just don't know, you know?
Do
It's
it.
like they discount environmental toxins so
Yeah,
much. Like, it's like they don't pay attention. Like,
they
it's like
don't.
well, because they aren't educated. That's really why.
Yeah.
They're not educated on parasites, worms, and mold for some reason inside of you. It's like it's so strange to me. So yes, keep being the voice for this, Kim. So what did you do for the solution after you found out you had mold and yeast in
Oh
your
yeah.
food?
Okay, so I got the Air camera. It's like 45 bucks on Amazon. So I really recommend getting one of those. It was kind of cool. And then I looked to see what it was, and that's how I was able to determine that it was yeast and mold in my ear. And I like did screenshots of it too, so that I could show Dr. Giles because I wanted to show her, like, I needed to treat my ear, but I also needed to show her. So I had to do a video,
I
save it on
see.
my phone, and then I was able. So that I got Wally's eardrops. They're the same people that make some of the ear candles, and it's an ear oil. So I
Okay, yeah,
was
I know that
using.
ear oil. I know
Yeah, it's
it.
great. But when I landed in Nashville, my ear was really bad. Even when I was on Dr. Axe, I was pretty sick when I was on Dr. Axe's podcast. I couldn't
Mm.
hear, but I had been doing the swimmer's ear, which the swimmer's ear drops with Highland, and it's a homeopathic.
Such a professional and such a champ. You would never
Never
know.
know.
So when you guys see the Dr. Axe podcast dropping in June, appreciate it that much more because you'll have the insight and know that behind the curtain, Kim was suffering during that podcast. Okay,
I was just
jeez,
like, I
Kim.
got to get through it, man. Because, like, we
Yeah.
were there for that. And it was such an honor to meet him. Like, he's such a calm, and like, you walk in and you know what he's doing. He loves it. And his spirit was just really kind, and his team is really kind. It was really great. So then I did, what else did I do? Okay, so I did the Highland drops. And then after I got home, I did the camera, and I really like it. It really is super cheap and works great. And then I did the Wayland's oil, and I feel like the
Okay.
oil was best. I feel like the
Okay.
oil was best. Also done a little antibiotic. Not any antibiotic in my ear. I'm taking
Okay.
it orally. Yeah.
And then replenishing your gut.
Yeah, I had to look it all up because no one
Right.
really knows exactly. So it's like a saccharide and moss, and those are refrigerated pro and prebiotic only because it's live right there. So in the day, I'm doing a pill with it, and then at night when I do my second pill, I'm doing this one drink, and I got them at Sprouts, and it's an LGG probiotic. So it's the bacteria that's LGG. So
Is it in the little white
yeah, the
bottle with
little
the soda
shots.
cap? I like
Yep.
those.
So I feel like the education of knowing how to keep your gut health, and I feel like when people, especially that have Lyme and they get put on doxycycline, they don't really know that they have to take something simultaneously with the antibiotic, or people that have to take an antibiotic. Like, that's where Western medicine really does a good job coming into play to help you band-aid it. I was talking to Jeremy about this last night. I go, the problem is back in the 90s when I first got into medicine, that we were using it as a band-aid. And then over the last 20 years, we've been using it as like the main character. And you can't, it was never designed to be the main character. It was always designed to be the supplement. It
The
was
support.
always
It was the
designed to be the
supportive
supportive.
role. It was the
Yeah.
supportive role. The
Yes.
main character needs a sidekick.
Yes.
Yeah, think about it. You're
Yes.
absolutely right. There's time and place when pharmaceuticals are necessary, when I mean in life-saving moments, when modern Western medicine is so necessary. Of
Yes.
course, it's not discounting and saying don't use these, but wow, it was never meant to be the main
It,
character.
and we villainize both sides of what we're trying to do here. And I was like, okay, we get asked all the time too, why? And it's always money. But let me tell you, if that was the case, I know what it looks like on the side of holistic medicine as well. I know what it looks like to cost for testing. Like, if it's about the money, then they need to be educated, because on both sides there is money on both sides. So everybody says money, but like, I've been in this world as a classically trained medical personnel, and I can tell you that my whole life has not been revolved around money. It has been more revolved around how I can help people, and sometimes that gets lost in the translation, right? And so when I first learned about medicine, it really was supposed to be a supporting character. So that's your responsibility to make you and your health the main character, and how you're going to integrate all of these into your own life.
We're talking about modalities. specifically because that's what we're focused on this month. All of our episodes, we have a podcast episode, we have a field trip episode where we actually go and do modalities and show you guys us doing them. We're going to show you everything from cold, cryo, cold plunge, to going to a salt cave, to use halo therapy, and so much more. IVs, I mean, we utilize IV therapy so often. I
Yeah.
want to get back to at the very,
Oh, yeah.
very beginning of this live.
I went on a
People were
tangent.
Oh, the tangent was beautiful and necessary, and I'm so glad you did because, woo, I mean, it's inspiring and it lights me up too. So this is also how I know we are definitely aligned on our missions and on our purpose, because I'm like ready to go. Like, let's go. Let's get the word out. At the beginning of this live, so many people were asking about digestion and enemas and cleansing with ParaFy, and like, do you do it if you're backed up, and is it okay to do enemas, and how should you do? Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that y'all ask about this, because this is
Yes.
my area of expertise and this is my wheelhouse. Enemas and digestion and getting backed up and staying regular and all of these things, like, okay, this is so, so, so important. Your digestive health is everything. You must be going to the bathroom. And before you cleanse, during a ParaFy cleanse, after you cleanse, it doesn't matter at what point, you should be going at least once a day. When you get your digestive health to a point where you know it's healthy and working well, you will be releasing at least once a day, and ideally in the mornings at some point after you wake up. Like, you're going to release everything from the day before, and if you eat another meal, you going in again is totally fine. 1 to 3 times a day is an ideal healthy amount of times to go to the bathroom. There are at home easy to use modalities that you can use to keep yourself regular. So my favorite one, even before coffee enema, is a good old-fashioned water enema. So simple, so easy. It works every single time. If you haven't gone to the bathroom yet today and you do one, you will go right away. It will get out what's blocked up. It's gentle, it's effective. I've been using them for over a decade. I'm so happy to get the word out and let you guys know. Go for it, do it. Order yourself a silicone enema bag. You can either get it through Happy Bum. Both Kim and I have links in our bios for Happy Bum, or you can get it on Amazon. You don't want the little CVS or Walgreens drugstore little enema bottle thing filled with already pre-made who knows what. That's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
You want to get yourself an enema bag. It's a decent sized bag that holds a good amount of water with a hook, and you can hang it up high. It has a tube, it has a clamp on the tube, and it has an end tip. Okay, literally, I just use spring water from a glass bottle. You could also use ozone water like we were talking about earlier. What's the machine called, Kim?
Therasage bubbler.
Therasage bubbler, if you want to do ozone. I don't do those every time. It's every now and then that I do one, because I do notice afterward I get a little bit nauseous, and I think it's because the ozone is really going in there and getting to work.
Yeah.
But just speaking simple basics 101, just where to start. Like, I would suggest, if you are someone who has constipation, gets backed up easily, or you're not going to the bathroom once a day right now, please hear this message and implement water enemas to your life. It will change your life, and you will wonder why you did not do this sooner. I'm talking, this costs you probably, the enema bag, probably what, Kim, like 20 something, maybe 30 something dollars. I've had mine for 2 years. I mean, wow, what an investment. It is a life changer because it's such a hack. I always travel with it. Every time I travel anywhere, I bring it.
Have you seen the new Happy Bum Beam one that's glass?
No, very excited about that. Cool.
They just launched a new glass one.
Okay, that's nice. I'm going to check that out for sure. Okay, so coffee. Let's move on to that next. I just wanted to emphasize the water because, especially on social media, everyone's so obsessed with coffee enemas. It's like the enema everyone talks about, and they're totally bypassing like the simple beginner 101. You don't always have to add coffee, and you don't always have to do the whole coffee process, which is different. You're supposed to hold it for 12 to 15 minutes. You're supposed to lay on a certain side of your body so that it is traveling to your liver and gallbladder. Like, I wouldn't even say start there. Like, start at water, work your way up to coffee. So that's my 2 cents on water enemas. And while you're cleansing, absolutely don't let being someone who gets constipated or is backed up prevent you from doing the ParaFy cleanse.
Yeah.
Please, just utilize water enemas and help yourself to go at least once a day by using them. Okay, so coffee, it's more focused on the liver and gallbladder. That's what the coffee is really doing. So the compounds in enema coffee, we're not talking about going to the store and just getting any kind of coffee, not even just organic regular
Right.
coffee. You want enema coffee. So coffee enema, it's a different process, but essentially you brew the coffee a certain way, you add it to the bag. You want to do 2 fills essentially. You like split it in half, the amount of coffee that's in there. You put half of it in, you lay on your side, you let it absorb for as long as you possibly can. 12 to 15 minutes is ideal because that's how long it takes the compounds in the coffee to travel through blood vessels and reach your liver and gallbladder and stimulate them to have them dump everything they're holding into your colon, and then you pass it out. So yes, it is super detoxifying, of course. It assists your liver in detoxing, and that's like the point of coffee enemas. There's also a lot of other benefits to it. Distilled water is good only if it's from a glass container though, but that's really why I prefer to use spring water because it's a balanced pH. Distilled water can be stripping of minerals, so that's why spring to me is just kind of like my favorite go-to. I've never had an issue with spring water using it in enemas. So yeah, that's the 2 cents on water enemas, coffee enemas, and then a modality, of course, that if you can go to a clinic and get a colonic also during cleansing, before cleansing, after cleansing, like really these type of modalities for your digestive system should be a regular part of your life, no matter if you're cleansing or not, because healthy digestion is everything, and getting the waste out is everything, especially while you're cleansing. So it's not optional. We even say that in the modality episode, Kim. You're like, it should be mandatory, really, while you're cleansing on the ParaFy cleanse. You need to be doing water enemas,
Or
a
coffee
coffee enema if
enemas
you graduated to it and feel
or
comfortable doing that,
colonics.
and colonic. Yes, we're
Yeah.
talking about water therapy. That's what we're talking about. Humans have been doing this forever. It's
Mm-hmm.
very normal. It's very natural. It's very healthy. Again, this is not
And that's
medical
where
advice.
bidets come from. Bidets.
Are
Like
they
that's
really?
the
I thought that they were
yeah.
just to clean you. I didn't know that it was.
No,
Oh,
it shoots up. You can have a bidet that shoots up to get that outside to help you get going. It's
interesting.
stimulating. It's stimulating. But that's what
Wow.
the original bidet is
Wow.
for. And the way that you can angle the actual bidet nozzle can go in and shoot it up your bum. Yeah, even Instagram agrees.
But let's make sure that that if that's the case, it ain't just normal city water coming out and going up there,
Right.
because you could be putting,
That's all
you
you're
could
doing. Worm water up your butt. I mean, that's
exactly.
really what the issue is with the water in our
Yeah.
country.
What should you look for from a colonic technician or company? I would say just look at what's in your area and then read Yelp
Hmm.
reviews.
Make
So,
sure they're using filtered water.
and make sure they're using filtered water. Smart,
Yeah.
not city water. That's smart,
Yeah.
Kim.
That should be all. Like, I just found out that my spa doesn't use filtered water when they do my facials. So, you should always ask about that. And especially if you're shooting water up your butt.
Yeah, especially, oh my God, you're adding what you're trying to get out directly to the location that it wants to go to thrive and live. Unreal. So yeah, so someone just asked about the ParaFy cleanse. So listen, please don't let being backed up or
Yeah.
constipated prevent you from starting. I'm giving you guys a code right now. It's our podcast code. If you use this, you'll get 10% off of all products, all cleanses at RogersHood.com. So just use what's eating you, and we don't spell it with YOU. It's just what's eating in the letter U. You'll get 10% off of everything. But go ahead,
Hmm.
please, if you haven't already ParaFy cleansed, get the cleanse immediately. Don't wait. Don't be scared. Don't let anything prevent or stop you. Someone was asking about their lymphatic system, like, oh, what if, if your lymph is like slower, should I wait to cleanse? It's like, do everything you can to up
Mm-hmm.
and to clear out and to get all of your drainage pathways moving prior to cleansing, but don't let it stop you from cleansing. Start and implement, man. Go for it. Like, get your drainage pathways open. RogersHood.com offers so many free resources you can download straight to your phone. They're ebooks about drainage pathways and how to get them open and how to prep them and how to keep them open during cleansing. They have a fast track guide to cleansing to walk you through the whole process. There's literally no reason to not start. So
Mm-hmm.
please, if you haven't yet, please go get the ParaFy cleanse. It changed my life. I am a lifelong ParaFy cleanser. At this point, I've removed hundreds of visible worms from my body using it, including over 100 that have left my nose, including a foot-long ropeworm, liver flukes, like hundreds of liver flukes. I've seen so many things leave my body. It's unbelievable. Tons of stones, tons of mucus, so many things that honestly at this point I don't even know how to identify because they're just so weird that I'm like, what even is this? So yeah, it works. And I saw someone also in the comments be like, do you have to take off work to do the cleanse? No.
No.
That's what's so beautiful about the ParaFy cleanse. All completely natural, for real,
Yeah.
organic, herbal. Kim is very purposeful about the ingredients that go into every single one of her brilliant products that she creates and invents. They're all effective. They're all good for you. They're all natural and organic. They're third party tested. They are
Mm-hmm.
safe to take. We use this stuff and we feel better for it. And there
Yeah.
are thousands of other people who agree. So if you have done the ParaFy cleanse already, amazing. Please let us know your results. Let us know what you experienced, how you felt, how you feel now, what you saw leave your body. Not everyone sees physical worms leave their body, and that's normal too. Most of what comes out is actually microscopic. So, oh, we're so grateful to be helping
Yeah.
you. This is the whole point, providing the information, making it very normalized, like we're normalizing it, letting you know it's super normal, it's super natural. And at this point in life, guys, being a modern day human, the
Mm-hmm.
amount of environmental toxins we come into contact with
Crazy,
every
man.
single day of our life, if we're not cleansing, Kim uses this analogy all the time, but if you think about your body and all your entire system as a bucket, you are loading it up so full of all of these harmful organisms and environmental toxins. If you don't do something to empty out that bucket and lighten your load, this is what illness and
Yeah.
dis-ease comes from.
That's why
We
we're where we're
have
all at.
we have to be cleansing. We have to be cleansing. And
Mm-hmm.
ideally, like 3 to 4 times a year, the parasite cleansing alone, because we're eating food every day of our lives. Doesn't matter how natural and organic. Funny enough, the irony is organic vegetables and fruits don't have pesticides on them. So,
Right. But
you're,
organic and natural does have some heavy metals, which is normal. Like there's a little bit of them with inside of even like carrots because it's dirt, but it's so you can process things. And I think
yeah,
we have vilified so many things because, oh, well, any extreme of anything is going to be
yeah,
a bad thing.
of
So,
course.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you just have to be
Oh,
conscientious, you know?
yeah. Someone just commented on your packaging. They love it. They think it's great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we tried to keep it calm and good and just,
Simple.
yeah, because this is overwhelming, right? You're getting introduced into holistic herbs and holistic lifestyle, and like you don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff. We're actually working on even our instructions, simplifying our instructions and the instructional card because you can over complicate things. And I feel
Mhm.
like over the last 4 years I've been doing this, I just really want people to get the herbs in their body. Like that's the whole purpose of this. And
Yeah.
so we're really trying to keep that as easy and breezy as possible.
Yeah, really cleansing at this point in life, guys. It is mandatory. We have to be,
Hmm.
but it's wild that it is a new concept to so many people, and that's really just people living in America because America didn't get the memo, and
Right.
we are one of the sickest countries on the planet, if not the sickest. Would you say we're the sickest, Kim?
I mean, we're pretty much up there.
Yeah.
And medicine is like the number 3 way people die in our country is through medicine. So, I mean, that's pretty up there, you know?
Yeah. We must be cleansing. We must be using these
Hmm.
modalities, man. That's why we're talking about this. So, again, like, thank you everyone for joining us on
Yeah.
this live today. Really, we just came on to talk about these modalities, to let you know what we use in our lives that help us to stay healthy and feeling good and energized, even through major, serious things like all of Kim's chronic illnesses and her flares. She still is not, she's never just laid up in bed, not working, not traveling,
Mhm.
not moving around. She uses these modalities in her everyday life to keep on going. So if you are chronically ill,
Yeah.
or if your bucket is just overflowing, if you're worn down, if you're lethargic, if you have headaches, if you have sugar cravings at night, if you can't sleep, if you have insomnia, if you have acne, if you have problems with hormonal or reproductive issues, digestive issues, any of these things, if you're getting sick all the time like I was before I started ParaFy cleansing, like, any of these things can be relieved, can be alleviated. Like, really, cleansing is such a huge part. It's a staple, really, at this
Hmm.
point. And we want to help it become a staple in your guys' lives too. And then also using these modalities that we have access to. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Yes, humans are facing a crisis in health where we're sicker than we've ever been, but simultaneously, there's also this beautiful global medical awakening happening.
Hmm.
We're coming live and direct, literally reporting to y'all from the front
Hmm.
lines, being like, hey, don't listen to what you've been taught your whole life.
Yeah.
Hey, the water here in America is not as clean as we've been told. Hey, Western medicine doctors don't have all the answers and actually don't know a lot of this stuff and are gaslighting you and are making you feel crazy and are discounting these things and overlooking them and not testing correctly. Hey, there is remedy. There are solutions, and nature can absolutely help you heal. And so we're here to deliver that message and let y'all know how we do it in our lives and what works for us.
Hmm.
So that's the whole point of sharing this message about modalities. Check out our podcast, What's Eating You. It is on every platform that you can stream podcasts, from YouTube to Spotify to Apple Podcasts and all of the rest. Please tap in. We are always offering you information, tangible information for you to apply in your everyday life that will help you feel your best.
Well, thank you guys for being here with us.
Thank you. Until
Good
next
job,
time, y'all.
Sam!
Thank you, you too, Kim. Everyone be well. Stay tapped in. We got y'all. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.